Joining us on the line from Cape Town is EFF MP Godrich Gardee. Mr. Gardee, good morning. Just your initial reaction about what happened in Parliament last night.
Well, that is a reflection of the utmost arrogancy of the ANC in contempt of democracy. All that happened yesterday in Parliament is as a result of the disregard of the Constitution and the rules of the National Assembly by the Speaker.
You don't think your member, sorry Mr. Gardee, you don't think your member was also disregarding the rules by refusing to leave the podium and withdrawing her statements that President Zuma is a thief and a criminal?
The presiding officer was offered a help on how to deal with the matter, but for reasons best known to the ANC, the riot police were called in to take over the chamber. That would have been handled in a better way than to bring in the riot police.
Now, we've been asking our viewers this morning for their comments about what they think about the MP's behavior. Do you think your behavior as an MP and the rest of your colleagues in Parliament yesterday was becoming of the institute that is the National Assembly?
I think that the question can be better asked the members of the ANC who were paying for the blood of the opposition party yesterday. The issue here should be, the question here should be, is President Zuma behaving correctly in this country? Why doesn't he want to pay the money of the taxpayers back as found that he has actually benefited? We are here in Parliament to defend the taxpayers and we've been sent here by the voters to ask the uncomfortable question. It can't be business as usual.
Now, some of the commentators in public have said you and your fellow opposition members lost an opportunity by walking out of that ad hoc parliamentary committee where you could have really represented your electorates properly in fighting for the right thing, and that you lost the battle even before it had begun.
Well, if we have lost the battle, it's not true. It can't be true. The issue here is that the ANC refused to call witnesses into that committee. They refused to call the public protector. They refused to call the head of SIU. They refused to call the ministers alleged to have been involved earlier on. And they refused to summon the subject of the complaint, which is the President Zuma, to come and provide the bond and answer all other questions that he did not answer to the SIU and the public protector.
Okay, now, last night we saw the violent scenes. Let's just go back to that. We are reporting this morning on eNCA that opposition parties have vowed to lay charges of assault against the police. Is that the case? Will the EFF, because your fellow member of Parliament was involved in the fracas last night with the police?
Oh, definitely. We will go to court about this matter. We'll take it through the police and the prosecution authority. We are resolute. We are convinced that the court will determine the right remedy on this matter.
And what about the eNCA matter itself? The vote happened yesterday. 103 voted against, but we saw more than 200, mostly ANC MPs, voting in favor. What's your next step now in dealing with the whole eNCA issue? Because in your view, as an opposition, it has not been resolved.
We have issued a press statement earlier on the matters surrounding the ANC study group report. Together with all other opposition parties, we have agreed that we'll exhaust all other possible internal processes within Parliament, which came to an end yesterday. And accordingly, we will exercise our right to another recourse, and in this particular instance, to approach the court to make a determination.
Thank you very much. That's Mr. Godrich Gardee, MP of the EFF. Now, this morning we're asking you, what do you make of the way MPs acted in Parliament yesterday? Let's take a look at some of the viewer responses that have been coming in thick and fast on Facebook and on Twitter at this hour. We've got Kulani first, who says, totally unacceptable. I couldn't believe my eyes. Never mind my ears. Horror comedy in Parliament. Then we've got Maksuda next, who says, nothing wrong. I've seen MPs around the world fist fight each other. Pay back the money. Then Ronnie says, a neutral speaker would help Parliament move forward. Balega must go. She's serving the interests of Luthuli House in Parliament. Then David next says, atrocious. Even kindergarten kids are better behaved. Then we've got Andrew. Our country is a true democracy. There's freedom of speech. When you are out of line, you are called to order. Then we have a short one by Eric who says, they've made tavern patrons look good. And then Motlana next says, ANC must start working hard and bring intelligent, vibrant MPs. They are afraid of being challenged because they are not serving well. And finally, this hour we have a comment by Uratilwe, who says, the energy was good, but the fights and swearing were unnecessary. Please continue the discussion on eNCA's Facebook page, or you can tweet us at eNCA News or tweet me at Dan Moyane. We hope to bring you more of your comments later on during this morning. And let's remind you, they don't necessarily reflect the views of our channel.